Hey guys, Teresa Dell here. That's Real Rogue and Random Insight with Teresa on Metaphysical Monday, our very first. So I thought what I would do is to start out, just give you an idea of what metaphysics is or how it's described. Okay, so basically, I turned to AI and I found a pretty good example or two that I can read to you, and that will help you gain a better understanding of the world of metaphysics. It's very broad and vast and fascinating too. So, my explanation for metaphysics. What are metaphysics? And I simply will say this: the unknown is known. We simply don't know how. Okay, the unknown is known. We simply don't know how. We haven't been given the key to unlock all the things that science knows exists. Okay? We haven't given the key to unlock it, but it is definitely known that it's there. Metaphysics and everything that it encompasses is real. Okay? So when I turned to AI, I got this: metaphysics, the branch of philosophy that deals with the first principles of things, including abstract concepts such as being. I want to add coexisting, knowing, substance, cause, identity, time, and space. Okay? Example: they would regard the question of the initial condition for the universe as belonging to the realm metaphysics or religion. All right? You could rewind that and listen to that one more time, okay? So I don't have to repeat it. All right, so the next explanation I see is it's a philosophical condition concerned with exploring the basic principles that govern the nature of reality. That's pretty awesome. Okay, now that sounds really, really cool. So basically, metaphysics is huge. It's broad. It's everything that has to do with all the little sciences and everything that have to do with metaphysical or energetic transference, like telekinesis, um, um, what am I trying to say? Telepathy, telekinesis, Reiki, all those different types of energetic transfers that we learn how to use, that for various different reasons also will fall into that category of metaphysics, okay? Beyond the physical, all right? So I wanted to share a couple examples for you. Years ago, I sprained my sacroiliac joint, and I was in excruciating pain. And I lived alone in a big two-story house in Wyoming. I had to get around using my arms like crutches, okay, like scooting, and on my butt with my arms as crutches, keeping me from resting all the way down. So I had to go downstairs to the kitchen that way. Once in the kitchen, I could pull myself on the counters and I could push my weight to my left side and, move around the counters to get food or whatever I needed. Again, I was alone. I did this for a couple of days and it was getting worse and worse. The sprain was getting unbelievably painful. I couldn't sleep at night. A gentleman friend that I had at that time, and I learned months before that we had, or a couple months before, we had a powerful energetic connection to each other. The ability to exchange thoughts, the ability to not only send a thought to the other, but have that person respond in a written text to validate we had this, okay, and we still have this connection. It's actually really amazing. But anyway, so he could not be there with me to help me with the discomfort that I was experiencing through with the sacroiliac sprain. So he learned Reiki. Like, he knew we had the ability to transfer energy to each other, and he took it upon himself to do kind of a quick study of the body, the anatomy, and practice Reiki. He messaged me and said, I can't be there to help you, but I think I want to try something to see if I can help you. And so what he did was had me rest. We're messaging. He had me rest, breathe, relax, close my eyes, and let him do what he felt he could do to help relieve my pain. So I did. I followed his steps, and because I was very open to him, very, very transparent to him, and trusted him. And so, and I still do. So basically, he was able to focus on the area of my back that was damaged and injured and concentrate his energy on that area of my back. And I'll be damned if he was able to make that pain subside enough to help me get to sleep and help me have a restful night, because the next day I was going to have to try to get to medical attention. And so it was a very uncanny experience, and it was something that blew both our minds, but it worked. So that's an example of metaphysics, the unknown way two people can communicate with each other telepathically, energetically, or use kinesiology for different things. Kinesiology, I'm thinking about, well, kinesiology as well is a transference of energy into the type of kinesiology I do to touch a person's body and align them or whatever. So basically, he did it. He proved it. And after that, we started having fun. We started having fun with this ability to transfer energy back and forth to each other. And, it's just a neat thing. And to this day, still, we enjoy having that connection with each other. And I think it freaked him out at first, because I think I might have been a little bit more elevated in knowledge in that area with those types of practices. And I think it might have freaked him out at first, but he learned to realize that it's there and it's beautiful, and you could value that, just value that, because it has a lot of abstract possibilities. So anyway, moving on from there, we'll talk about paranormal. Paranormal also falls into the category of metaphysics. It's the unknown, and paranormal beings are basically masses of energy, okay, that don't have enough particulate matter, you might say, to take a form, a solid form. Simply put, that's kind of what they are. So we lived in an old farmhouse out in the country for years and years. My son was born. He was an infant in that house. And I woke one night and heard his cradle rocking. His cradle was a wooden cradle at the foot of my bed where two walls came together at a corner. And I heard his cradle rocking. And I listened, and I thought, well, maybe my daughter came in, maybe she couldn't sleep and she wanted to check on her little brother, right? So I didn't worry too much. I listened. I kept hearing very slow, gentle rocking. And I thought, I'm going to just check. I sat up in my bed. There's nobody there. There was nobody around the cradle. He was a brand new baby. There was no way he could rock that cradle himself. He didn't have the strength to do that. And I thought, oh my God. And I was real still, and it continued to rock very gently. And so I nudged my then husband, and he said, I hear it. He had already heard it. He was laying there listening to it too, and thought it was eerie as hell, and it was. Anyway, eventually it just stopped, okay, and I checked on my son. He was absolutely fine, and I thought so as well. That didn't scare me. What was going on I thought was fascinating. It did not scare me. So the next day, I talked to the gentleman who owned all the property out there, and I asked him about the house. And I said, who lived in the house? Can you tell me a little bit of story who lived in that house, like in its early days, and a little bit about it? And he told me that there was a couple who had two sons. They were raised in that house. Both of them went to war, and both were killed at war. And I just froze. And I got covered with goosebumps, just like now, telling the story, remembering those words. I froze and got chilled. Anyway, I came to the conclusion, shared it with my daughter and my her husband, my son's father. I shared with them that I believe that the person rocking the child, my son's cradle, was the mother of the two sons who were raised in that house and killed at war. And we just accepted that. And she visited us a few different times. Her energy, her spirit was active in that home. So were many others. A lot of transient spirits came through there. So those are just a couple little stories and a couple examples of metaphysics and things that fall into the categories of metaphysics, okay? It's beyond physics. It's beyond the physical. So I have many, many stories, and I will be sharing them with you on these videos. And I want you to share your stories too. I'm sorry I bumped the light. I want you to share your stories too, because I am fascinated by these things. Whatever has been disproven grabs my attention, okay? Because I'm fascinated by things that we know exist but are aren't disproven. Those things grab me. So please share your stories and comments if you would like to. I'd like to hear them. And if any of you have anything you'd like to discuss with me, I do take sessions in mediumship, as well as in other types of things. I do readings and all as well. So if any of you would like to have any interest in that, you can look in the description box for this channel and you can see how to contact me. I ask that you simply send a message that says Insight. And that way I will know it's a legit inquiry. Otherwise, I'm going to disregard the message if it's just a hi from a stranger, because there's a lot of people that do weird things to try to get you to open messages that are probably maybe contaminated with viruses or whatever. So please write Insight and I will assess it and message back, okay? Anyway, so take care. Thanks for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you all have a fantastic week. And as I said, share your stories with me. I'd really like to hear them, okay? So here we are, our first Metaphysical Monday. It's going to broaden, but for now, I thought this would be a good way to jumpstart it, okay? Take care. Bye.